bestie. I hope you're doing good and everything is fine with you. This letter is to every little girl who grew up straightening her curly hair, who grew up feeling insecure of her textured hair, and who grew up always striving and wishing she had straight hair. This letter is a love letter to my curls and to every curly hair girly around the world. If you have curly hair and if you grew up having curly hair and textured hair, then you're gonna definitely relate to many points that I'm gonna be talking about in this video. I'm sure you know that there is a stigma around curly hair. Whether you have curly hair or straight hair, you know that straight hair has been always the beauty standard. It has been always the desired goal for every curly hair girly, especially when we were kids. Because growing up, we always received compliments when we had straight hair, and we always received recommendations when we had our hair natural. And I think at this point it's a canon event for every girl to have straightened her hair throughout her whole childhood until she finally learned how to embrace her natural hair and fall in love with her beauty. I was one of them, so my story is probably no different than yours, but I'm here to talk about everything surrounding the stigma of curly hair. To give you a little background about my experience personally, we're gonna go back to my childhood as a curly hair girly living in a world that glorifies straight hair. Personally, I never knew that I was different or that I had curly hair or not even curly hair. It was not a thing. In my experience, there was straight hair beautiful and there was non-straight hair, textured hair that was ugly and that needed everything to become a straight hair. I didn't even know what curls were. I didn't even know that I was different than others. I didn't even know that that existed until people pointed it out. And when you're a kid, you're like a sponge that absorbs every single comment that you get from outsiders, especially when you get it constantly. Imagine 100% telling you that the sky is black. Will you look at it and still think that it's blue? No, you're going to do everything to convince yourself that it's indeed black and that there is a problem with your eyes. This is unfortunately the problem with everything we see online, with the way that we are raised and the representation or the lack of representation that we see around us. We tend to believe that our curly hair is wrong. There's something wrong with it. It needs to be straight and it's ugly and it makes us feel ugly and we're much prettier with straight hair. So I've always looked around in my classroom and I've seen girls always had straight hair. Most of the girls had straight hair. To me, they were beautiful. To me, they had everything that I wanted. And that was the first thing that I ever noticed. That was especially after I became insecure. Because as I said before, I didn't really know that I was different than any other person until they started pointing it out. And that's when I started feeling a little bit conscious about my hair and how it looked. Because in every gathering, in every situation, there will be at least one person who would give me a recommendation to straighten my hair, which was annoying. From that point, I became so conscious about how I looked, how my hair looked, and how I was portrayed in the eyes of others. Most of the experiences of insecurity or differences come from a classroom, and it affects us a lot, especially at school, because it's where we thrive, it's where we meet friends, it's where we build our personality. To see that I was the only person who had textured hair that wasn't curly, because obviously that notion did not even exist, so no one really knew how to take care of my curls, so we just brushed it out and it just became puffy and it was bad. It was hard to manage. My hair was not like this when I was a kid. My mom would just really have a hard time managing it, so it was always short and she would just brush it out. And in comparison to other people who had, other girls who had straight hair that was really beautiful and shiny and just like straight, mine was always puffy and messy and hard to manage, and it was just, to me, ugly. So I'd always look at girls at my school and be like, I wish I had straight hair like them. I wish I was just like them. Like, that would solve everything in my whole life. It really got worse when a kid started pointing it out, and that's when I became insecure, because I was never insecure of my hair. Although I knew that it was different, I just always knew that one day there will come a day where I will learn how to take care of my curls and I will keep their mouth shut. But then when you actually start getting comments from your actual classmates, then that's when it really hurts and it cuts deep. Because the first time that I ever became insecure about my hair was because of a comment that a guy made. And maybe to him it was just funny to tease me with it, but to me it was an absolute horrible nightmare. I will just be so horrified every single time I meet that guy, or every single time the word hair would be said out loud, whether it was just a description of a character in a story we read in class or whether we were just having a conversation. Once the word hair would be present in the world, like out there for me to hear, I would feel everybody's eyes on me, everybody judging me, everybody hating me, and everybody calling me ugly. So I was really scared that everyone in the classroom would start calling me names the same way that that guy did. That's when I started becoming so insecure of my hair. When you become insecure of something, it really starts eating you out, and you stop gradually seeing the beauty in anything in you. Maybe it starts as a physical thing, like hating your hair, but then it starts hating your face, then it starts hating your personality, then it starts hating your clothes, then it starts hating yourself, then it starts hating your whole life. And this impacted me in many different ways, and it showed in my everyday life. Maybe details that others would never notice, but that were really big to me. If I ever had a hairstyle, I would not touch my hair. I would not touch my hair the whole day, because if anything goes wrong, I would just feel that everybody's gonna judge me and that my hair is automatically ugly. I would always keep it in one single hairstyle because there was not representation, there was no education, there was no awareness about curly hair. And maybe it sounds cliche saying it like this, but it's important because so many girls had curly hair, but no one really embraced it. So I always strived to have straight hair, and I would start brushing it. And then when I was like a teenager, when I was able to take this decision on my own and do whatever I want, I started straightening it up. Every time, although I hated myself and hated my hair, it really hurts. It hurts to straighten the curls, because I feel like every single time a curl was straightened, a piece of my identity slipped away with it. I feel like there was something taken away from me. There was something that lacks in me. Like, it was not my authentic self. Me being with straight hair, it was not me. I really wanted to embrace my curly hair so bad, but I just couldn't at that point. It was not yet the time or the place for it, because I was not ready, and I had no one around me. There is one thing about me that you should know, is that no matter how much I hate something about myself, no matter how much I am insecure about something, my relationship with myself remains unfazed, and I always see myself as my best friend. So although I always hated myself, I always felt like there was something in me, authentic and truly me, when I had my hair natural. I will just feel like much more like myself. And I was like waiting so bad for the day that I will finally be able to wear my hair natural. And well, today, if you're hearing the podcast and not watching the video, I am wearing my hair natural. And we're going to talk more about how that evolved into becoming who I am today, and how did I embrace my hair naturally. But before that, let's talk about another point that is very important, which is curly hair stereotypes. If you have curly hair, you probably know that there are stereotypes around curly hair. Curly hair is considered unorganized, unprofessional. It's considered messy, hard to manage. It's just not beautiful. It's not pretty. It's not the desirable thing, you know? I personally don't know when did straight hair become the norm or the standard, but it has been ever since I existed, and it still is. And that's why representation is very important. If you're watching this video and you have textured hair, then this is your sign to finally learn how to embrace yours as well. Besides the taboos and everything around it, let's dive deep into the names that they start calling me. In my society, it's like very normal to bully each other, whether it's from friends, family, classmates. It was just like a normal thing that I always kind of welcomed naturally, because I truly believed that I was the problem, that there was something wrong with me, that I was ugly and that my hair was not really pretty. So I would literally just agree with everything that others said to me, and I would just say things to me in the mirror that are even worse than others. Like, I would torture myself maybe worse than others did to me, because at that point I just wanted so bad to literally get away off this, like my natural curls. So there are like different names that they would compare me, like a sack of potatoes, a dishwasher. Maybe in English doesn't really come off as an insult, but in my own language, native language, yes it does. It really hurts, because it's like it becomes a natural thing to other people. You can't say anything to them. Like, yeah, you tell them to stop saying it, but like that's what they think, that's what they call you instead of your name. And it just really cuts deep into you. And when they call you names that exist in their like daily life, whenever you hear that name, even if it's not in the context of them calling you names, you'll start feeling the same feeling again. You start being so scared, like trembling, and I like want to just disappear, and I feel everybody's eyes on me, and I feel judged, and it's just not really a pretty feeling at all. This all comes down to beauty standards. When I was a kid, I had never seen a princess with curly hair. There was never like a cartoon character that had curly hair or textured hair, and if it was just a side character, and it would always be portrayed as an ugly thing. If you ever really pay attention to 2000s like rom-com and the early movies or cartoons, whenever there was a glow up literally defined, it would be the girl with glasses, the OG stereotypical girl, a girl with obviously glasses and pimples and messy textured hair that purposely looks bad. And then when she has her glow up, she has her hair straight, as if that was the norm and as if that was everything that every girl strived for. And obviously, as kids, the representation that we see in media and that we read in books is very important in building our personality and in impacting the perception that we see life in ourselves as well. When you see models on magazines or when you see like actors, they always have straight hair. And whenever we have like a celebration or a party to go to, what you be considered like to glow up or to do something to feel pretty is to actually straighten your hair. And you always receive more compliments with your hair straight, as if they purposely tell you in your face that you were never pretty with your hair curly, and this is what you should do from now on if you want to be considered pretty, you know? With that being said, I want to talk about my curly hair journey because I've come a long way. When I told you that my hair was my biggest insecurity, I mean it. I would look at myself in the mirror and literally shower myself with the worst and most horrible words that could exist to hate myself. I was loathing myself. It was everything that I could see in me. Every flaw, everything was tied back to my hair, and I could not feel like worthy of anything. I could not feel worthy of friends, worthy of love, worthy of life itself. Like, I would look up at my friends in their eyes and like secretly think, how could they want to be my friends? I am so ugly. Like, how could anyone respect me? Like, that is so bad. Personally, I was never really like bullied in school. Besides that one guy that like only used to tease me, for him it was fun, but for me it was really like torture and it was a horrible nightmare. But other than him, like, I've never really experienced bullying. I was always a straight A student and I earned respect of everyone around me. So to be at that position, having so many eyes on me, I always felt like I was nothing without that, you know, without my academic achievement. Who would even look at me? I really hated that. I really hated how I hated myself, and I really hated how others even loved me. Like, it didn't matter what you tell me. Like, it didn't matter if you tell me that my hair looked good. It didn't matter. Even when I really tried to take a step forward, they would push me away and make me take a step back, because until I finally try to honor my identity, to embrace my natural curls, then I'll receive a compliment with someone literally like putting me down, like humble me. They would literally just straight out make fun of me. It really hurts because being a kid, like, you don't really know how to take care of your curls because it is really hard to manage. That's true. But when you don't know how to take care of it, it's really hard to love it, because even if you want to look like other curly hair girlies, usually it's really hard to achieve that look without proper routine, without proper care. To talk about my journey, I've always had my hair straightened out, whether it's a brushed out or straightened out. It would be only like curly when I swim during the summer. Even then, it would be hard to manage. So I would literally just never brush it. And then when it's like time to go to school again, I just brushed it away. So to kind of like go back to talk about my curly hair journey, I just want to give you a little bit of context to understand really how it was for me and how I went through it. I became insecure about my curly hair when I was in 4th grade or 3rd grade. I don't remember it exactly, but 4th grade was definitely the start. And up until 10th grade or 11th grade, ever since I was probably 9 years old until I was 16 years old. And it's taken a big part of my childhood and teenage years. So it really did affect me a lot, and it did affect my confidence and my personality and how I perceived myself. My self-esteem specifically, because my confidence really is a matter of me and others, and me and the outside world, more than my self-esteem. My self-esteem is between me and myself, and I really had a low self-esteem, and it was all because of my insecurities and how much I've internalized other people's comments. So I grew up in Morocco. Like, whether it's in Morocco or in the rest of the world, beauty standards are literally similar, they're the same, and it's always been straight hair. In my society particularly, it was not welcomed at all. Like, I would always receive comments from my family, from friends, from people I didn't even know to straighten my hair, and it really did affect me. Now I see that things have changed. Now I go out out in the streets and I see girls and women, beautiful women with curly hair, actual textured hair with different styles. And I feel like it's because of our society, of our generation, Gen Z. We love to embrace our differences and our identity. But the previous generations, they did not. They wanted conformity. They wanted the norm. They wanted to follow the rules. So for the longest time, I've had my hair straight or brushed out. But when I moved to the US, I had made it my mission to fall in love with my curls. I really wanted to take care of my curls. And other than the fact that there was no representation or there was really no space for textured hair in the Moroccan society, there was also no reach for products. Even in TV, like you never see ads like shampoo ads or hair ads with textured hair. You only see it with straight hair. And when you go to the aisles, you only see products for straight hair. There was not a lot of gels. And even now in the US, it has not been like long until we could see a full aisle for curly hair alone. So this has been like a battle in the whole world, which is really sad to realize that like not long ago, there was nothing. There was no space for curly hair in the beauty community. There was no space for it in the beauty industry as general. I always see that in American movies or cartoons, there's a lot of diversity, whether in skin tone, hair texture, ethnicity, background. And I knew that maybe if I was part of a community that was diverse, I will finally be welcomed to embrace my like natural curls. And that's what I did. The moment I stepped a foot in this country, I went straight to the shampoo and conditioner section and I picked up products for curls. And ever since, I started going out with my natural curls. At first, they were not defined. It was really hard to take care of my curls because even my curls type, maybe it's 3C, I don't know exactly what it is, but it is not represented online. So even when I see beautiful pretty girls with curly hair, tutorials and routines, it was never really my hair type and I did not have their hair type, so no matter what technique I use, it would never look as pretty as theirs. I was like, I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna slowly learn how to take care of my own natural curls, and that's what I did. At first, I just cut heat of my natural curls. So I really cut heat, like I never really put heat ever in my hair again, and I would always do everything to maintain the shape of my curls. So whether it's braids or heatless curls or whatever it is, to not brush it out so that I could revive my natural curls, because by that time, my hair was dead. It was literally curly, probably like 3 centimeters up in the root, and everything was straight down. So I waited a little bit, and then after that I cut like all the dead hair, and slowly I've come to realize that I really love how I look with my natural curls. And it is truly like hard to manage and everything, but it just takes time. It took me like a year to finally have beautiful natural defined curls, and it's like so many steps, and I really just accepted it. Like I was never impatient when it comes to self journey, because that experience was really important in defining who I am today. So I was really patient. Like it took me a whole year, and I was, by the way, alone at that time. It was COVID and I was like new. I did not really meet any friends. I did not have any classmates or anything because school was online. So I was just alone, and I used that time to forge a relationship with myself, start my self-care, start my self-love journey and my hair care journey. It goes hand in hand because one of my biggest insecurities was my hair. So to overcome my hair insecurity meant to overcome like a big insecurity of mine and finally have confidence in myself again. I just started really honoring it. Like I would really never go out with my hair straight. It's always textured, it's always with my curls, whether they were defined or undefined. It did not matter to me. What mattered was that it was natural. I just wanted to feel natural, that's all. And I slowly started learning techniques. I started implementing hair routines, hair care, and learning what type of products work with my hair. I've grew to learn exactly what works for me, and I also have a low maintenance routine for like my high maintenance curly hair. And now today I've been like wearing my hair natural for almost 3 years now, which I'm very proud of. I can never imagine now like wearing my hair straight. I do certainly love it because it's a change of look and style, but I always feel like something missing. I always feel like it's not the most authentic me, and this is exactly how I embraced my curls. So when I went to school, everybody knew me as Yosra with curly hair. It was me with curly hair. That's how people knew me, and I loved it so much because for the longest time that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be associated with the real me, the real identity, like my authentic self, which is me with natural curls, unapologetically. And people even like loved it. I would receive comments and compliments every day. Like it is almost as if I manifested that energy. It's what I put into myself that I received. The moment I started loving myself and loving my curls, I started receiving compliments from people I don't know. People in my school would always ask me about my hair. People would like literally describe me with my hair, and I love this. I literally love this so much. And now I can probably say that I have curly hair and that I'm really so so in love with it. It's a big part in me. Like, I love my hair. I just wish I could go back and hug little me and every little girl who feels the same. It's really important for mothers and for people in general, because that's how we grow as a society. It's by normalizing things that are already normal. Just stop commenting on other people's looks. If you have something nice to say it. If you have something bad, just keep it to yourself and maybe try to work on yourself to have better empathy for the other person. And the way I honor my curly hair and my identity every single day is by embracing it. It doesn't matter whether I feel insecure or not, I'm still having my curly hair. I'm still having my hair natural, and it does not matter what you say to me, I'm gonna talk back, you know? I'm no longer accepting unwanted backhanded compliments. I'm no longer accepting your comments on me, because I've come a long way to build who I am today and to build that I love myself. I'm not just gonna let you come and demolish everything I've built, something that I've spent years and years building, just for you to come with one single comment to literally just bring it back to zero. No, I've worked hard for that, and I'm not gonna let you take it away from me. I want you to do that too. If anyone like comments on anything on you, make sure that they hear it back. Make sure that they never ever try to say anything like that to your face again, or think that they can come anything near you and look at your face dead as in the eyes and tell you something bad about your face, your skin, your eyebrows, your hair, your body, your weight, your style, your taste. It doesn't matter. You should talk back. You should make them learn their place. Like, put them back in their place. Humble people just like they want to humble you. Make sure that you fire it back. Just play an Uno reverse, and trust me, you will feel much better, because if you're a people pleaser like me, make sure you think about whose peace are you keeping before you think about keeping peace, because most of the time we're just keeping their peace. We're just making them feel comfortable, but for us it just eats us every single time. Like, our peace is never kept. So make sure that you don't really feel bad about doing that, or speak up for yourself, because no one has the right to do that to you, and they should know that. That being said, it doesn't matter whether you love your curls or not, it is still hard to manage, especially my type of hair. My hair is big, it has a lot of volume, it is short, it is very dry. My curls are like very small, so it is not like the typical curls that you see, which I wish sometimes I had, because it's just so much easier to take care of. Not that mine are not beautiful, they're equally as beautiful, but it's just that sometimes it really is tiring. Like, sometimes I just wish I could shower and go to sleep. I'm so tired. Like, sometimes I even don't want to shower just to not wash my hair, because I have to go through so many steps. And even in my sleep, I'm not even like sleeping well, because I need to sleep with everything in my hair and with the braids. It depends on what technique I'm using that night. But let's talk about curly hair struggles. Honestly, curly hair is just so unpredictable, and so are my feelings. Sometimes when my hair is not looking good and when my curls are not curling like they're supposed to, it just really affects my whole being, my whole day. My day just going wrong. It doesn't matter how I feel about my face. Like, my hair, if it's good, then I look good. If my hair doesn't look good, then I don't look good. It's just really a bad feeling, because I'm like, I finally got over that big insecurity of mine, and I have now like a very nice and good relationship with myself. So it really hurts to see myself fall back onto that feeling of looking at myself in the mirror and hate it. But it's fine, because you know what? I don't like fire back. I accept those feelings. If I look at myself and I don't like my hair, I accept, and I just treat myself like a little baby or like my best friend, and I just conform myself. It is fine if you don't like your hair today. You know that when you like your hair, you know how it looks. You know that the problem is not your hair. It's just not the day. It's fine. People don't like their outfits, their makeup. Doesn't mean that your hair is the worst thing ever. You shouldn't feel bad if you feel insecure sometimes, even though you are building your confidence. Doesn't mean that you're gonna always feel confident 100% all the time. But you should always challenge yourself, because when, for example, I'm filming a video and I feel like I'm ugly and I'm like bad and my hair looks so bad and horrible, and just want to cry because it frustrates me. Like, I spent an hour trying to get my hair to look good, but it doesn't, and just looks so bad. I literally challenge myself and don't stop there. Like, I don't just cancel everything. I film regardless of how bad my hair looks, and then after that, when I post the video and I edit, I'm like, you look good. Like, what the hell? You were not gonna film a video because of your hair. That's just temporarily feeling. That is just something in the moment that's just gonna go away. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not going out. I'm just like staying here because I don't like my hair. I don't want to go out. I just hate it, and no one would understand you unless you have an insecurity. It doesn't have to be hair. Whatever insecurity you have, no one's gonna understand you, you know, and no one can comfort you unless you do it yourself. I really suggest next time you feel like that, you challenge yourself and do it regardless. Another struggle is the weather. If it's windy outside, it's just really hard to love it, because my hair just gets all over the place and I don't like it. Like, I can't wear caps or hats because So my hair is just short, so it really gains a lot of volume and starts scrunching it. I don't like it because it becomes so short and it's not really what I like, but it's fine. I'm like learning how to grow it, you know. I don't hate that. Maybe it bothers me sometimes, but I don't hate it. So even if you feel insecure, this is how you're gonna deal with it. You're just gonna literally put yourself in the situation and be real, be raw with it. Like, accept your feelings. It's fine if you feel horrible, but just do it regardless. You feel horrible about your hair, go to school with that hair, go to school, go through it, maybe hate yourself and torture yourself for it, but then as long as you keep continuing doing it, one day you're gonna fall in love with it. One day it's gonna become the norm. It's gonna become normal. But as long as you really leave yourself like that, let's say you hate your natural curls and then you straighten your hair, then the next time you straighten your hair, that's gonna become the norm. That's gonna become the routine. Make sure that you switch the routine. Create a new one that is really gonna align with your goals, which is to finally fall back with your natural curls and embrace your textured hair. And the last part of today's letter is going to be about embracing your natural hair, your textured hair. This is how you're gonna embrace your natural hair. First, you're gonna learn your hair type. It took me a long time to finally understand that the problem was never in me, because when I see other people like doing their hair care routine, I'm like, the problem is in my hair. There is no way, because no matter how I tried, it was never as good as theirs. So learn your hair type. Learn what type of curls you have. Do you have dry hair? Do you have oily hair? Does your hair needs a lot of hydration? Does your hair have low porosity or high porosity? Because this is gonna help you know everything you need about the products and techniques that you need to use for your hair. If you have really dry hair, it doesn't matter what technique you use. If the right products are not moisturizing your hair, then it's never gonna really retain the curls. So make sure you know your hair type and make sure you use the right products. I'm just gonna give you some tips on how to choose the right products for your hair. Generally, curly hair, it needs a lot of hydration. Since we don't really wash our hair many times throughout the week, we need to use products in the shower and after the shower that are gonna hydrate our hair throughout the whole cycle. Make sure that when you use the shampoo or a conditioner or any basically product, make sure that it doesn't have any sulfates or parabens, because they really dry out your hair. If you want to know how a shampoo is going to perform in your hair, once you're going to rinse off the shampoo, touch your hair. If it feels really like plastic and it like starts doing like when you touch it, know that shampoo, never use it again. Don't buy it again, because it has probably sulfates or parabens, because that's exactly what really strips your hair from moisture. But if you use shampoo and you rinse it off and your hair is still moisturized and hydrated as if you just like put a conditioner, then that's a good shampoo. And some of the shampoos like this are Shea Moisture. Shea Moisture shampoo is really, really good. They don't have any sulfates or parabens, and I've like used multiple ones and I really love their shampoo. I'm using currently Miel shampoo with rosemary. It's really, really good. I really love it so much. And for the conditioner, you need to make sure that the conditioner keeps your hair hydrated throughout the whole routine. So this is just like some tips about the general products, which is shampoo and conditioner. And then after that, you obviously need a curling cream, curling custard, gel, mousse, and the list goes on. But this is for another talk, not today's. The next thing that you're gonna do to embrace your hair is to stop the heat. For the love of God, as long as you keep the heat near you, you're always gonna reach for it. I personally don't have any heat products. I don't have any straightening brushes. I literally only straighten my hair like once a year, probably on my birthday or if something really big happens, because I just want to change. Since I can't really do anything to change my hair, I just straighten it out, because there's nothing that really changes my appearance besides my hair. Like, I can't really dye it, so I just straighten it. And when you're just starting your hair care journey, it does not matter. It's not about the hair damage in your hair. It's about the whole process damaging your self-esteem. It's about you convincing yourself that you look better with straight hair. That's the problem. I feel like once I really revived my natural curls and restored natural curls, even if I straighten it now, it doesn't really damage it that much, because my hair is strong. It's not going to really damage it that much. It can damage your self-esteem. It can damage your confidence, and that's really hard to build. Maybe it's easy to build, like to restore your hair with products in time. It's really hard to restore your self-esteem once you lose it. It's really hard to lose your love for yourself. It's really hard to lose that confidence. I don't want you to feel prettier with straight hair. I don't want you to feel like you need to wear your hair straight in order to feel more worthy or in order to feel more confidence. I just want you to be who you are regardless of that. So if you can stop the heat and stop anything that could make you reach out for it, then that's gonna really help you embrace your natural curls. Lastly and finally, challenge yourself. I talked about that point earlier, but really, surely challenge yourself. This is something that I do almost every single time I have a hard time with myself, because I'm still in my self-care journey, my self-love journey. I've come a long way. I really developed that healthy friendship with myself. When things like that happen, whether it's because of my hair, or because of how unproductive I was, or because of how I think about myself or how I perceive myself, I challenge myself and I do exactly the opposite. If I feel like my hair is not pretty and I cannot go to school, or if I feel like my hair is not pretty and I cannot film, or I don't really want to go out because I'm not gonna look as pretty as I anticipated to, I go out with that hair. Girl, I did not go through all that, all these years for you to come here and tell me that you don't like your hair. You're gonna like it today. If not today, you're gonna like it tomorrow. We're gonna keep trying until you do like it. If you feel like you don't look good in pictures with your curly hair, keep taking pictures. Keep taking pictures, keep taking pictures, and finally you're gonna see that you have a lot of pictures with your curly hair, and that's who you are, and there's nothing that's gonna disassociate you from your curly hair, because that's you. Start building your identity, you know? Stop detaching yourself from the most authentic version of yourself and start striving to meet that most authentic version of yourself. All the other ways that you're gonna challenge yourself, I'm gonna leave them to you, because it depends on your situation. It depends truly on your relationship with yourself. And if you really relate to any of the things that I've talked about today, make sure you leave me a comment so that I can know, so that I can connect and talk to each other, because truly no one's gonna understand us better than we do. And I know that you related to many of the things that I've talked about, because this is something that unfortunately we struggle a lot. It doesn't matter your background, your age, as long as you have textured hair and you're living in this society and you're breathing, then you go through these experiences. I hope that my letter today will inspire you to finally learn how to embrace your natural curls and to take that first step towards your curly hair journey, because I am gonna be always rooting for you. This was the end of my letter. I'm sending you my love from me to you. XOXO, the YB Project.